Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge. Guys and gals, I know there's a few of you watching. Thank you very much for joining in at Canadian Cutting Edge. Today is Monday. I used to do Miscellany Monday on this channel where I would talk about stuff that wasn't knife related. Well, I'm going to do another Miscellany Monday, but it's knife related. So maybe I'll do that every once in a while of knife related stuff. The way this video got started was I was watching Zelric. He's got a channel where he does knife reviews. He's the guy I get the Wiha knives from every once in a while to review. He loans them to us and to a lot of different reviewers, and we get them, we can do them. He was talking to us about this product from Vibra-Tite. Vibra-Tite makes a number of products, including thread lockers, thread locker right there, thread locker gel, but the product he was talking about was this VC3 product. So I'll show you in here what it looks like. That's the VC3 product page. And you can get the product in a number of different size containers, and you can see this guy brushing it on to the threads. And so I was asking him about it, what this stuff is, and I'll read it to you. VC3 Threadmate is a powerful locking and sealing coating for threaded fasteners that works on the principle of friction through viscosity. A Vibra-Tite VC3 Threadmate utilizes a special blend of acrylic resins to prevent fasteners from loosening even under the stress of prolonged and extreme shock and vibration. So that's the main thing that it's for. So can you imagine on a pivot of a knife, you get vibration and shock when the knife it's open all the way. Shock, shock, and we open our knives and we tend to flick them hard and they get shock. And so where a thread locker, if it fails, it's done, it's failed. The way this VC3 works is you coat it onto the threads and it behaves more like, I don't know, a shock absorber, if you will. And so that, it doesn't start to loosen up over time, and it just keeps holding and keeps holding and keeps holding. And it behaves in a way that if you do want to take it apart, it's not so hard and tight like a typical thread locker. You can undo it. You can undo it and redo it 5-6 times. That's what their standard is. And so it's a really good product for guys who like to take their knives back apart. Maybe, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years down the road, you want to do some maintenance, take it apart and, clean it out and stuff. With that product, you can do that. So I contacted Vibra-Tite and I asked them if they would have any product that they would like to send me that I could do a review and stuff on. And they sent me a sample pack. No, they didn't. They sent me 2 sample packs. So the one sample pack that I have here, this is going to go to the Patreon winner at the end of February. So the draw that I'll do at the first week of March, that Patreon winner will not only get the knife that every Patreon winner every month gets, they will also get this package. And what's in here is CA glue. I always have a tough time saying what the CA is. It's like the super glue of days of old. It's a super glue. So you get one of those. You get one of these, and this is Vibra-Tite 9072 high temp nickel anti-seize. So what this is good for might be if you need to do something on your engine or whatever, but it's for the high temperature anti-seize. And then you get 2 other containers here, and this is the thread locker gel medium strength. That's why it's blue, but it's a gel, so it's a thread locker gel medium, which is good stuff. And then you've got another thread locker gel, but this is the red, so the high strength. So this is the permanent strength red thread locking gel. So you get that, and you get this, and I'll talk about this more in just a minute. This is DriveGrip, and you get this VC3. And this stuff, you put it on after you've unsealed it. You just take off the tip, and then you've got an opening there, and you just put a little bit on your threads. You let it sit for half an hour, at least, maybe longer, but at least half an hour. So you let it dry on there, and it stays just slightly tacky-ish. That's how it stays, at least after the half hour. And then you just screw together your stuff. Now, this other stuff, this is a lifesaver as well. It might even be a product that a lot of you are going to use even more than the VC3. This stuff is the DriveGrip. What is this good for? Let's get to the tabletop mode and I'll show you in detail. Now, many of you guys that watch this channel have Ganzo knives. Do you remember when these first came out? These blue anodized hardware, and they were a little bit soft, and people were stripping them out. I hate stripping out screws. So even though I buy really good top quality German drivers, they don't always fit perfectly. Like these ones here, here's a flat spot for you to key in on. So if I put it in there, it still has that tiny bit of wiggle back and forth. So the driver's precise, but the screw isn't necessarily precise, and this screw's a little bit soft. That's a T7, and then here we've got T9s, or this is a T8, I should say, over for the main pivot, and you can see it has just a little bit of play. This stuff is a lifesaver for taking these apart. Actually, if you read the instructions, the first thing you're supposed to do is shake it like crazy. This thing's not going to shake very well, so I shake it and I knead it a little bit, and I shake it up some more because it says to shake well before use. Apply 1 or 2 drops of grit to head of screw or tip of screwdriver. DriveGrip increases the grip strength between the fastener head and the tool by up to 700%. That's 7 times stronger, virtually eliminating tool wear and the rounding and deforming of fasteners. So when I want to take the knife apart, very simply squeeze this just a little bit, and you see this little bit of black stuff coming out, and I just put a tiny bit on the head of the driver. Such a tiny, tiny little bit. That's all it takes. I'll put some on here. Ever so tiny bit. I'm just going to wipe this off the tip here, so get it on there. And close this up. And so once I've got that on the end of the screwdriver, I put it in, and I can feel right away that it grabs really tight. This thing's got a little bit of freedom to move back and forth before, let's get it to focus. It does that little bit of movement before that D shape catches, and then it's tight. And now I can just unscrew it, and it doesn't skip through, and it doesn't strip the screw. And so there's a couple screws that I have stripped lately. This is going to be a lifesaver for me. To me, it feels like I can drive, about a dozen screws before it's a good idea to reapply a little bit more of this. You just don't want to do it too seldom, and then you end up stripping a screw. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you've got knives that are worth a little bit more than these Ganzos. On my knives, I'm going to use this stuff even before I start driving on a screw on a knife. There's no sense in slipping and starting to strip the screw and then deciding to use this. No, just use it right off the bat, because you want your knives to look pristine for the longest possible time. And so now you got it. And then when you go to tighten it, you can tighten it up. Of course, you still do your regular, keep the force of pressure in, work as smoothly as you can. Still use your best practices for driving a screw, but with this stuff, it holds very, very nice, and you won't be stripping your screws anywhere near as easily. Oh, I way over tightened that. If I would have tightened it this tight without this material on here, without this DriveGrip, I would have stripped the screw by now, and I wouldn't have been able to get it this tight. So I got to loosen this up a bit. There you go. Tiny bit of blade play. No blade play, still moves. Very good. So remember, I put some on here as well. And you put it in, it just feels snugger. There's less play because it takes up a tiny bit of space. There's some kind of little bit of grit or something in there, and it just grabs on nice and tight. And then you can undo your screws, and you're just not going to strip your screws anywhere near as easily. This is a type of product that I've known about for quite a while. My father was a machinist, but it was expensive commercial stuff that he was getting that, it just didn't make any sense at all for me to get. But now that I know of this stuff by Vibra-Tite, consumers can get this, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Now let me just show you some of the other products they have. That's really real cool product. Vibra-Tite Microbond. They got stuff like this. VizTorque. It's sort of like a paint, but it's a tamper detection marker. And if your screws or your nuts come loose, it's really easy and quick to see which one's moved. There's that anti-seize compound stuff. You get one of those anti-seizes, right? Yeah, high temp nickel anti-seize. Yeah, nice stuff. They've got products for gaskets, anaerobic gasket making, and of course, all kinds of thread sealants. And there's the VC3 again. And then there's the Vibra-Tite thread lockers. And some of your business places that you go to, if you go to machine fasteners places and stuff, they might have these little test packets for you that you can buy to get at a very low cost. And then you can get it in these pump bottles of gel. You're getting that little bit of gel if you get this package. And so Vibra-Tite has got all kinds of products. The two that I am very much recommending that you might want to consider getting is the VC3 and the DriveGrip. Again, they don't come only in this size containers. These are the sample packs. I'm going to be getting some not real big, but regular size packages where it's a little more cost effective, and using this stuff for a long time now. If you want to have a very good experience doing maintenance on your knives, I've always said, get high quality drivers. This is just one of the brands that's really high quality. There's a lot of German brands that are really good. There's a couple of American brands that are really good. You'll get a really good quality driver, and then get this kind of product, DriveGrip and VC3 Threadmate, and you're going to have a whole lot better experience taking apart your knives, putting them back together, and having them last a very long time. So that's what this video is about. Next Patreon supporter who wins at the end of February, beginning of March, you're going to be getting this package along with the knife of that month. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, always cut towards your chums, not your thumbs.